Do I actually need a credit card? Or could I just survive off a debit card? The reason I'm asking is because I don't know much about credit cards, except the only thing I do know: you gotta pay the money back to the bank. And if you don't, you'll be in debt. Which obviously no one wants. My mom is 46. And I'm almost certain she doesn't have a credit card. And she's doing fine. So do I need one when I turn 18? Or is it fine never getting one? I'm 17 if that matters. Edit just asked my mom. She said she doesn't have a credit card but she used to. The key is to treat the CC like cash and set it to be automatically paid in full every month. Lot of perks to using a CC: security against fraud. Accepted while traveling. Travel and cash rewards. A way to build your credit. Just cause you have a $29,000 limit doesn't mean you rack that up. TLDR, they aren't necessary, but can be a very good thing if you're responsible. You're fine without one in theory, but it can help a lot to build your credit rating. I had to get my mom to co-sign on my first car because I didn't have any credit. Now I only use my credit card for purchases, bills, pay it off immediately, and have a higher credit score than most people I know. Edit for what it's worth. I'm Canadian. Our credit systems are similar though. Great job on realizing you have to pay it off each month. Lots of people don't realize it, how much the interest stacks up. The main benefit of a credit card is that you build credit later when you want to buy a car or house, which usually requires a loan. But this is good debt. The lender will pull up your credit report and see, oh, they've borrowed and paid back $X over the last Y years on the credit card. I can trust them more to pay back this car loan. Debit cards are dangerous. If your data gets compromised, they can clean you out. Credit cards offer a lot more protection in that regards. There are no-fee credit cards that can give you one back in cash or points on all purchases. There is no downside to getting a credit card. Unless you're irresponsible with money. If you have a credit card and use it a little bit, you will build a good credit score, which will make it easier to get loans, mortgages at lower interest rates. Plus, it's better to have a line of credit in an emergency than not have one. So interesting to see so many people here talk smack about debit cards while another portion of the world strictly use debit cards. I live in the Netherlands and credit cards are not used a lot. If I want a credit card, I need to tell my bank what my income is, and if I don't use it for a time, it just auto-cancels. That's why I got myself a German debit credit card, so I can buy stuff where debit cards are not supported. All in all, the security issues some people mentioned, I genuinely have never encountered, because we also strictly use IBAN, not the whole CVC big 16 number thing to make purchases. I can't speak for American, but here in Europe they are not popular at all. I have never had the need for one. You don't need one. It's just harder without one to build up your credit score. What's more important than a credit card, though, is keeping an active debit card with the same bank, instead of getting a new one down the road. You could get a product like the Fizz card that builds credit without the risk of running up credit card debt. Good credit is useful in life. There are a few things that a credit card does that a debit card can't. Other than building credit. Renting a car. A great many car rental businesses will not rent you a car on a debit card, no matter how much you are willing to pay. Checking into a hotel, you can do it, but they will put a $500 hold on the card before they give you your room key. This is not to cover the cost of the room. It is in addition to the cost of the room, and the hold only goes away after you check out. Get a small CC 500 limit. Use it for bills or emergency hotels. Build a credit score safely and do not lend it or increase limit. Also shop for a good money back and low interest. They aren't strictly necessary, no, but if used correctly, they're a good tool. Credit cards will help you build your credit, which is essentially a score on how likely you are to pay a debt back. If you ever want financing for a big purchase like a house, they will look at your credit score. If it's low, they won't finance it and you'll be stuck renting. You'll be limited to what's in your bank account. I have never had one because I don't like spending money I don't have. But my position is probably unique. So, it can go either way. You don't need it, but it's recommended. Assuming you are going to be responsible with it. Most people aren't. You get enormous benefits and protections using a credit card. You should absolutely have one. I pay mine if immediately all the time and never go into debt or worry about anything like that. Credit cards are amazing as long as you use them right. If you pay it off in full at the end of every month, there's no real reason to not have one. Credit cards also have some great perks like cash back. You just need to make sure that they are always paid off in full at the end of the month. Never let a balance carry over. You might need one to rent a car. Not all car rentals will take debit cards. I use a credit card for all my purchases as it nets me 3.5 off of all purchases. I do, however, pay it off at the end of each month. If you do not trust yourself, start with a credit card with a low limit. Would I say you need a credit card though? No, not at all. It's nice to have for emergencies, and as I mentioned before, the cashback is nice. The short answer in my mind is yes. A credit card and its responsible use should be part of your financial portfolio. For one, you want to build your credit up so that you will be able to buy things like a house or a car. You also want to have a credit card for short-term emergencies. For example, someone steals your suitcase while you are on vacation and you need to buy things. That said, responsible use is important. You should not use a credit card to have things you cannot actually afford. Getting a credit card is the easiest way to get credit. Having no credit could eventually hold you back. My mom never had a credit card or took a loan out, so she has no credit. She ended up getting turned down for apartments because she had no credit. That's what finally prompted her to get a credit card. With all that said, you don't need to get one at 18. It's better to get a credit card so that you can build up your credit history. After all, you can plan on living till you're 80. You don't have to go into debt to prove that you can pay on time. Get a credit card and put one small recurring payment on it: gym membership, auto insurance, education related, and pay that off every month. That way, you're not in the habit of using the credit card on impulse or non-essential purchases. You're using it to pay something that you already budget for. You can even set up the credit card to be paid automatically from your bank account. No, you don't. They are convenient though. Some international payments, car rentals, etc. require one, or they pose rather inconvenient restrictions. The credit in credit card means when you use it to buy something, you buy it on credit. So you loan the money from the credit card company, as long as you pay that off end of the month, which is the default setting. You don't pay interest if you don't. Interest starts kicking in, and that is where they make money. As long as you have money to pay of the amount, you're good.